Hello. So I just want to give you a quick overview of a way to adjust this seat mast so that it's as easy to get it into the right position for you as possible. There are a couple different ways that you could do this. So one way, the first way that I would recommend is to bottom out the seat mast on the bottom bracket. So what I mean by that is you release the quick release lever here and you lower this down until it hits the bottom bracket. So it can't go any further down. So once you've done that, you tighten this up and then you open up this one here and you make your saddle adjustment based on this one, right? So this one you leave alone, it's down all the way as far as you can go. You only make your adjustment here. And then what that allows you to do, once you've got your height set up just where you want it, is that you don't have to touch this one again. You only open this one up and pull it out. And then, when you want to put it back in, it goes in exactly where it's supposed to, every time. Now, there is one downside to that, which is that this will not allow for the most compact fold possible. So when you've got the bike in its folded position, you've got this lowered down, you'll see that the saddle height is quite high. That means that if you were going to be storing this somewhere where you could afford these additional several, 5 or 6 inches, then no problem. But if it had to get as absolutely small as it could, if you needed it to go all the way down in, then this would not be an ideal solution for that. But if you don't need that, if having the saddle stick up like this is fine for you and what you're doing, then it's a great way to keep your seat adjustment more stable, because just like that, bottom it out, close it up, and you're done. There it is, just where you wanted it. So the second way that you can do this is by lowering this down until it goes about an inch, until it's got about an inch left before it goes all the way in. It gets kind of tight if you try to take it all the way down. Close this up. So you've got this almost as compact as possible. And then you make your seat height adjustment only based on raising and lowering the seat mast, this black tube, as opposed to the seat post, the silver tube. So you would set your height based on wherever you need it. One thing to note is that you cannot go above the minimum insertion marks. So there are a series of hatched marks that run along the circumference of the tube. You'll see them, they're about 3 or 4 inches up from the very bottom of this tube. You can't lower it, you can't raise it any higher than those. So those have to be hidden. They have to stay underneath this collar at the very highest. So if that works for you, you can raise it or lower it to get it to where you need, so long as those marks aren't showing. And then you've got only one adjustment to make, right? So as you're unfolding the bike, you only ever have to touch this one. You don't have to touch this one here. And the way that you could get this most simply set up for, easiest, just open it up, put it into place, is to make a little mark on it. You could do that with something like a white paint pen, or you could take an X-Acto blade and make a little nick in the paint on the tube itself. And then that way you've got a visual cue that says, okay, I pull it up to here, I see that mark, now I close it, it's the right height, takes all the guesswork out. And that way, that would allow you to, when you fold it up, have this go down and be as compact as you need it to be. The other way to do it, if neither of those two solutions work for you, would be to make a mark on this one and make a mark on this one. Now the reason that that wouldn't work, or the reason that you would do this, because the other ones aren't working, is because you would need this to be as compact as possible up here, so you would need this to go down and be compact, but you've hit the minimum insertion mark here, and it's still not high enough up here, right? So then you're forced to adjust this one. You don't get a choice. So what that means is that if you had to raise and lower this one every time, because you needed it to be really compact, so you needed this to go all the way in, and then you're constrained by the minimum insertion mark, so you hit the minimum insertion mark and then you need it to come up still. The way that you do that is to simply make a mark here and here, and then that way you've got two really easy marks that show you, okay, I raised to here, shut it, I raised to here, shut it. And that would be, those are the three ways that I can think of that would be the easiest and fastest ways to get your seat height adjusted for whatever your situation is. Hope this is helpful.